us, they're attacking you. So never forget, if you're watching this transmission, you are the resistance.
That is the leader of Infowars, Alex Jones. Kit Daniel, thank you for joining us. Millie Weaver, thank you for joining us. We close the 30-hour broadcast special right here, right now. We kick it to the Infowars Nightly News. Don't forget, Alex Jones will be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central. Thank you guys so much for supporting us at InfoWarsStore.com.
Thank you.
Our broadcast, but because of your support, we are going to take Infowars to the next level. We're going to expand our staff, and we're going to flex our muscles in the face of the globalists even more, because that's what you want. But please sit back, enjoy the highlights from what was the 30-hour broadcast special, the defense of free speech, and make sure you get out there and execute your right to free speech, because that is how we defend our rights, by executing them in the face of the tyrants.
You want to fight? You're getting it. You're getting it. The reason Infowars Life has 5-star ratings on major third-party sites is because I want products I'm going to use for my family. I take this, my family takes this, and then it funds the operation with the most hardcore, truthful information you're going to find anywhere. So what you find in our news is the same thing you find in our products at InfoWarsLife.com.
If I ever forget to take them, like I have a noticeable difference. I don't feel good. The nascent iodine is one of the ones that was life-changing for me.
Yeah, I actually have just run out of my super female. I had a few bottles at my house, and I've been taking it again, hitting the gym once again. Very exciting, feeling great, looking good. So, and I know my hair is luxurious once again. So obviously the super female is amazing. I love it.
Nascent iodine is essential. Survival Shield X2. If there's one product that I would say is life-changing that I would suggest, it's Nascent iodine Survival Shield X2. It's got a 5-star rating.
It's a win-win. InfoWarsLife.com. I wasn't going to talk about this because I got attacked a good 50 times a day in print, you know, every day on national news. But they had this Charlie Warzel guy, or Weasel guy, following me around the last few months, one of many. And his article's called Alex Jones Will Never Stop Being Alex Jones. I just scanned over this in the last 10 minutes since it came out. It is literal fiction. He sent me all these questions. I refused to answer them today, final questions, because it was all just, so much of it just didn't even have anything to do with reality. And look at this. I just opened it to page 6. He just kept saying, oh, my God, if Obama loses, we're out of business. Talking about 2012. Ladies and gentlemen, they supposedly go talk to former employees. This is the biggest load of crap the world has ever seen. It goes on to say, but others close to Jones during that time said that despite a growing audience, the broadcaster was insecure. Insecure? 2 former colleagues said Jones reserved his greater resentment for Rush Limbaugh. The jealousy was so intense that Jones began to crib his now famous crushed gravel voice from the talk radio legends. Crib it. Limbaugh doesn't have a voice like me. He has a big, booming, sweet voice. Mine's fried. Ladies and gentlemen, I spent $250,000 on Rush Limbaugh advertising books and videos and supplements trying to prop him up, but they're trying to bring him down. GCN put me on 18, 19 years ago. I wanted to be on at night like I was. They took me on, put me on during the day. I hated it. I am not in everyone knows I'm not in competition with anybody except the globalists to stop them. And I just open this up, and they just have anonymous people. What? You know, I'm raping, you know, warthogs now. I mean, I just flipped through it. It's total crap. Excuse me. And I don't want to talk about myself all day, but God, it's getting crazy. You know, the nighttime shows, the comedy shows, everything. Made-for-TV movies, everything just attacking. Only X-Files said that they think I'm a good guy and had a good character in the show, they said, based on me. And I don't want to make it about me, but they are obsessed.
somebody should be prosecuted for letting Anthony Weiner have access to classified information. Does that make general sense?
It could be a crime. Would depend upon what the people...
Would you agree?
And here's another hypocrite, Comey. Nauseous to think FBI impacted presidential election. Oh, he feels so nauseous about it. And we got some clips about him complaining and whining to Maxine Waters and Lindsey Graham and all these other turds that are out there trying to run your life.
But again, it's like it all goes back to Hillary.
Well, the headline's not even real. This is a fake headline. The headline should be, Huma frickin' Abedin gave 6,000 classified emails to her perverted husband.
Right.
That should be the headline. And it's not because, oh, we want to turn it, make it about how he feels bad. It's all about his feelings, not about what he did. And it's because they didn't feel bad about, their intentions. We didn't know their intentions weren't bad to give away classified emails.
Private server, and
they had good intentions.
We reported, exactly, how that was when she first learned about the server, was when she was having her former political campaign aides go in and find out who was the rat, who was against her when she lost the first election in 2008. That was when she first learned, oh, wow, as long as I can control this server, I can go in and see everything. So then she wanted to set up her own private server so that no one could do that to her.
Exactly.
And so she knew exactly what she wasn't some innocent little grandma that thought it would be easier to set up her own private server. That's what it all goes back to. So when she comes out being totally pathetic, blaming it, I was on my way to winning until the combination of Jim Comey's letter and the Russian WikiLeaks raised doubts in the minds of the undecided vote. It's like, no, it's your fault. There would never have been any of that damaging stuff in the WikiLeaks, first of all, if the DNC wasn't totally corrupt. And secondly, if you hadn't have set up your own private server, you wouldn't have had to be investigated by the FBI.
We would have won if they hadn't caught us cheating. Is literally what she's saying.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton,
exactly.
We would have won if they hadn't caught us cheating.
I would have gotten away with it. It wasn't for you meddling kids.
Yeah. All right, let's go to this clip. This is Lindsey Graham talking about Weiner not having appropriate clearance to get these 6,000 classified emails, but their intentions were okay. So, hey, can I get classified email now if their intentions are good?
Yeah, my intentions are good.
You know how retarded you sound, James Comey?
We can't even get a freaking FOIA request.
Agree with me that Anthony Weiner of 2016 should not have access to classified information.
Yes, that's a fair statement.
Would you agree with me that if that's not illegal, we've got really bad laws?
Well, if he hadn't...
Well, he got it somehow.
It would be illegal if he didn't have appropriate clearance.
Well, do you agree with me he didn't have appropriate clearance?
He did.
If he did have appropriate clearance, that'd even be worse.
I don't believe at the time we found that on his laptop that he had any kind of clearance.
Yeah, I agree. So for him to get it should be a crime. Somebody should be prosecuted for letting Anthony Weiner have access to classified information. Does that make general sense?
It could be a crime. Would depend upon what the people...
Would you agree with me? It should be. That anybody that lets Anthony Weiner
I thought it was bad enough that I had to alert everyone.
Well, if our laws don't cover that, they probably should.
There's no Anthony Weiner statute, but it is...
no Anthony Weiner statute. Let's make a joke.
All right, good.
That's how you deflect with the humor.
Classified information and not be a crime by somebody.
Wow.
Well, hey, she needed him to print it out for her. Okay, so that, it was innocent there. So if someone wants to forward me their classified docs, I will print them out for you. So that's fine. Comey said that's not illegal.
I think there's a guy got one classified report sent to him, and he was in the Army. And they took his pension away, they took everything away. And there was no talk of what you're going to do with it, your intention was with these emails. Let's go to the next clip. This is how he got the emails. Clinton didn't give them to him. Her intentions are pure.
Was there classified information on former Congressman Weiner's computer?
Yes.
Who sent it to him?
His then spouse, Huma Abedin, appears to have had a regular practice of forwarding emails to him, for him, I think, to print out for her, so she could then deliver them to the Secretary of State.
Did former Congressman Weiner read the classified materials?
I don't I don't think so. I think I don't think we've been able to interview him because he has pending criminal problems of other sorts. But my understanding is that his role would be to print them out as a matter of convenience.
If he did read them, would he have committed a crime?
Potentially.
Would his spouse have committed a crime?
Again, potentially. It would depend upon a number of things.
Is there an investigation with respect to the two of them?
There was. It is. We completed it.
Why did you conclude neither of them committed a crime?
Because with respect to Ms. Abadan in particular, we didn't have any indication that she had a sense that what she was doing was in violation of the law.
She didn't have a sense about it. But we need to make them the leaders of put them in the most powerful positions, and then they can just keep on.
Why is it always like this? These elite people get to break the law, do whatever they want, and well, they didn't know. Nobody knows anything. But, if I do something, they say ignorance is not a defense. Right. Ignorance is not a defense. That's what you hear judges say whenever you go into a courtroom. You say, well, I didn't know the speed limit was 35 miles an hour. And they go, ignorance isn't an excuse, sir. You're going to have to pay a fine. But that's because I'm a lowly citizen, and she's whom she probably has her genitals cut off. Her mom was for that, so she probably got her little things hacked away as well. And I'm sure the feminists are going to love that one. It's really disgusting when you hear it described what they do to these poor little ladies in the Sudan as they come of age. But, they're Muslims, so we have to let them do whatever they want.
No, they don't even come of age. These are like young girls, 3 to 7 years old, that this is happening to. And so people want to make the argument about, oh, well, what about circumcision with little boys and stuff? But it's, which, there's a little bit to that argument as well. But this is like mutilating these genitals, cutting it off, and then sewing it up. Sometimes they sew it up so tight, they get infections, they can't urinate. Like, it's not like a circumcision of a little boy. It's completely different, and it's barbaric. And
hey, we can argue the fact. I don't even think we gave out the number yet. We're about 4:26, so we're going to end this about 5. We're going to take 6 calls, 512-646-4426, 512-646-4426. We'll take a few calls here coming up as we finish out with these clips. Now, here's where we get the big kahuna. This is him talking about him nauseous and, oh, he feels so bad. Oh, this is kind of a long clip. Maybe we'll pop out of it. And then we got one which I thought was his coup d'etat of basically saying we need an army of trolls. That's a good army of trolls, but we'll get to that in a second. This is Comey talking about, I think he's talking with Dianne Feinstein, and I think she interrupts him and he interrupts her. It's kind of funny watching them go back and forth. Clip of Comey talking about the 6,000 emails. Let's roll it.
Why didn't you just do the investigation as you would normally with no public announcement?
Yeah, great question, Senator. Thank you. October 27th, the investigative team that had finished the investigation in July, focused on Secretary Clinton's emails, asked to meet with me. So I met with them that morning, late morning, in my conference room, and they laid out for me what they could see from the metadata on this fella Anthony Weiner's laptop that had been seized in an unrelated case. What they could see from the metadata was that there were thousands of Secretary Clinton's emails on that device, including what they thought might be the missing emails from her first 3 months as Secretary of State. We never found any emails from her first 3 months. She was using a Verizon BlackBerry then, and that's obviously very important because if there was evidence that she was acting with bad intent, that's where it would be in the first 3 months.
But they weren't there.
Look, can I just finish my answer, Senator?
Yeah.
And so they came in and said, we can see thousands of emails.
I got a talking point
from the
ready,
Clinton email domain, including many, many, many from the Verizon Clinton domain, BlackBerry domain. They said, we think we got to get a search warrant.
Wait, I thought she said she only used one device the entire time.
She doesn't know what a BlackBerry is.
She said, again, she just had the one device.
And then I faced a choice. And I've lived my entire career by the tradition that if you can possibly avoid it, you avoid any action in the run-up to an election that might have an impact, whether it's a dog catcher election or president of the United States. But I sat there that morning, and I could not see a door labeled no action here. I could see 2 doors. And they were both actions. One was labeled speak, the other was labeled conceal. Because here's how I thought about it. I'm not trying to talk you into this, but I want you to know my thinking. Having repeatedly told this Congress, we are done and there's nothing there. There's no case there. There's no case there. to restart in a hugely significant way, potentially finding the emails that would reflect on her intent from the beginning, and not speak about it would require an act of concealment, in my view. And so I stared at speak and conceal. Speak would be really bad. There's an election in 11 days. Lordy, that would be really bad. Concealing, in my view, would be catastrophic. Not just to the FBI, but well beyond. And honestly,
such a wimp.
as between really bad and catastrophic,
you got 6,000 emails and you let these people walk.
Should have put her in jail. You should have put her in jail, and then he would have been. People wouldn't have been like, "Well, why'd you do it if there was nothing there? There was something there, but you let her get off free."
They cannot finish this work before the election, and then they worked night after night after night, and they found thousands of new emails. They found classified information on Anthony Weiner. Somehow, her emails are being forwarded to Anthony Weiner.
Somehow we don't know.
She didn't mean.
We're such good investigators, we can't figure that out.
She just needed him to print it on his non-classified printer.
Thanks to the wizardry of our technology, we've only had to personally read 6,000.
Didn't her cleaning lady print emails? That's what you're referring to, the cleaning lady.
They said we found a lot of new stuff. We did not find anything that changes our view of her intent. So we're in the same place we were in July. It hasn't changed our view. And I asked them lots of questions. And I said, okay, if that's where you are, then I also have to tell Congress that we're done. Look, this was terrible. It makes me mildly nauseous to think that we might have had some impact on the election.
Yeah, not the fact that you found 6,000 classified emails and that she didn't turn everything over to the FBI. That didn't make you nauseous.
And stare at this and tell me what you would do. Would you speak?
I would
conceal.
And lock her up.
Lock her up. Lock her up. Seriously, that's what we would.
I know what more than half the country wants.
I would make the same decision.
Yeah, and except for that, maybe you
on October 28th from the Congress.
Wouldn't have let her get off scot free.
I sent a letter to Congress. By the way, people forget this. I didn't make a public announcement. I sent a private letter to the chairs and the rankings of the oversight committees. I know it's a distinction without a difference in the world of leaks.
Look at Feinstein, like he lost it for him.
Did you really think they weren't going to leak it to the press? You know how this goes.
That's the reason I made that choice. And it was a hard choice. I still believe in retrospect the right choice, as painful as this has been. And I'm sorry for the long answer.
Well, yeah, we're not sorry for the long
sorry.
answer. It makes me nauseous.
No. It would have made me nauseous if she would have been our president.
If this doesn't scare you, just hearing that someone in our government could take 6,000 classified emails, that's just part of it, and give it to somebody else who is pulled out of office, under investigation for child pornography, and they could be on his computer, and they don't get in trouble, okay? What makes you think they're not going to attack our free speech, which they're doing right now? What makes you think they're not going to try to shut us down? What makes you think they're not going to make stuff up to try and get us to shut up? Because that's what they're concerned with. They're concerned about people like us talking about people like that who get away with crime after crime. Nothing happens to them.
You want to fight? You're getting it. You're getting it. And all you ISIS people threatening us, hey, we're not a French newspaper, okay? We got people that have taken your asses out in this building right now. We're armed to the teeth, and we're not scared. You got that, you sons of bitches? This is Texas. You want to threaten me, you can go straight to hell. You understand that?
Never water yourself down just because someone can't handle you at 100 proof. It's the Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
Infowars has partnered with Defender Body Armor to bring you a new state-of-the-art line of advanced, highly tested body armor from InfoWarsStore.com. Defender Body Armor is certified to protect against all handgun rounds and even armor-piercing FN 5.7 pistol rounds. The secret to Defender Body Armor is its proprietary processing technology that disperses more kinetic energy at a rate higher than any other traditional body armor, using one of the strongest synthetic materials ever created, called ultra-high molecular weight polyethylene. Defender Armor is also super compact and lightweight. There's a reason the Department of Defense chose Defender to manufacture their new line of advanced lightweight armor. It works. Defender Body Armor is made right here in America and has received the highest level ballistic resistance certification from an authorized NIJ ballistic laboratory. Defender Body Armor is now available through InfoWarsStore.com, so you can defend yourself, your family, and finance the info war against the globalists all at the same time. A total 360 win.
You provided Alex with the caveman.
Well, so we've been formulating this stuff for a while, and we've been getting these different flavors, and, you know, oh, I don't know about this one. Oh, You know, and so I've been taking that stuff, and I'm an old man. I'm 42. I work out 5 times a week, if not more.
I hear you're okay in jiu-jitsu. That's what I hear. That's what I hear.
No, I'm not. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. But the point is that I have a lot of aches and shoulders, and you know, there's weird joint stuff that I've had issues with for years. And this bone broth, the caveman bone broth, along with our joint formula, has just worked magic for me. And that's just, you know, that's just from my personal experience. I think they're great products, and I think if anybody else has those issues, that you should definitely, you owe it to yourself to check it out. If I'm wrong, then hey man, write me a mean letter. But let me tell you, they work for me. And so,
yeah, they work for me too. We were talking about this earlier. Du and I play basketball, and I'm just now, like for the first time in my life, I'm 27 now. After I play basketball, my knees are barking. Like it's
Well,
but the bone broth and the joint formula, like you just said, you combine those two. I felt the difference immediately. I felt it immediately.
Yeah, and it actually tastes good. Like, I'm really picky, and I will drink it. It tastes good to me. I love chocolate, so I really like the flavor of the caveman. So, I mean, if the bone broth if the bone broth is really that gross, I mean, I would never have known because it tastes really good. And my favorite is the Super Female Vitality. So ladies, get yourself some Super Female Vitality if you haven't already, because it seriously, it just gets me going. I mean, I'll take a whole bunch of that stuff before I go out and do
get
my...
it for your wife then too, or girlfriend.
Right? I go and take a bunch of it before I go do man on the street, and I just start running, zipping around, running right into the action. No fear, nothing. So,
well, that's a big primary part about you know, fighting the globalists, is making sure that we stay healthy and stay clear-eyed and stay honest and stay humble. I hope that we do that here at Infowars. We got a lot going on, and we're in the middle of the fight, so we really appreciate it when anybody supports us, either by purchasing our products, or you can even go onto our store and donate. We're doing this by the skin of our teeth. I know it looks like we're in a $1 billion studio, but Alex has never taken 1 cent of borrowed money at all whatsoever. This is all money that's come from you, the listeners. So you have literally built this place, you know, built this place with your compassion, and built this place with the support that you've sent us. So from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate it, because I know we wouldn't be able to do this, and we wouldn't have a voice if it wasn't for you. So once again, we got to thank the listeners for their steadfastness in supporting us. And even when we make mistakes, and even when we're not right, and even when we might go a little bit crazy, you guys stick with us, and I appreciate that.
How do we keep President Trump honest? I mean, look, we'd be idiots if we didn't say, thank God we got Gorsuch, thank God that they didn't get the Supreme Court, thank the good Lord above that we've got 300 billion in new jobs coming in, and 3 trillion plus in the stock market, and China's respecting us again, and we're getting some better deals there, and all these new companies are coming back, on and on and on and on and on. I mean, the first 70 days were almost perfect. I was just like floating on a cloud. Then 70 days in, I thought, oh, is that just a shill that Bannon's out? Clearly, the course changes. Now who is advising the president? I know he hears a bunch of people and then he makes the decisions, but clearly course changed. Is that because the whole government was just blocking him, both parties? He couldn't get people in. There was a government revolt. We know the deep state did that. That's admitted. And then now he's having to compromise. Is that what's happening? Because I still see a lot of good he's doing, but you can see now that it's not a purist movement.
I think he's being willfully misled, Alex. Here's what I know. I've known Donald Trump for almost 40 years. And when he has all the information, he almost invariably makes the right decision. It is only when he does not have all the information, or the information that he's been given has been colored or altered or manipulated to give him a false impression, that mistakes are made. We know for a fact that every single one of his advisors urged him to send 150,000 ground troops, boots on the ground in Syria. And fortunately, there was one man in the White House who didn't like that idea. One man who said, no, that's a terrible public policy. No, we're not doing that. That man was Donald J. Trump. So my confidence continues to be with the president. And my opposition is to those who mislead him. I picked up today's New York Times today to read about Ivanka Trump's agenda for the next 4 years. Ivanka had an agenda? Who knew? I saw her at the convention. I thought she was terrific. I like her. I think she is terrific. but now suddenly she's unveiling an agenda? Who voted for Ivanka Trump? Who voted for Jared Kushner? Who voted for any of these globalists? And then we have news today that Richard Grenell, who no one, I think, fought harder and more effectively for Donald Trump. Grenell, a former diplomat under the Bush administration, but a guy who's come full circle, who understands the danger of the globalists, who has renounced the New World Order. He's openly gay. He was one of the most effective surrogates for Donald Trump. It was announced that he was the president's choice to be NATO ambassador. It would have been a superb nomination. We learned today that that appointment has been nixed by Rex Tillerson. And I am told that it is because he objects to the fact that Grenell, despite the fact that he is learned and distinguished and experienced, is openly gay. Now, that's not what I voted for, not me. I'm a libertarian. I don't care about your sexual orientation. I care about your philosophy and your experience and your qualifications. This is very disappointing. And making it even worse, Alex, is the people surrounding Secretary Tillerson. They're never Trumpers. The people telling him that he can't hire Grenell, a Trump loyalist, they're never Trumpers. This is a real blow to those who understand loyalty, to those who understand the quality and the character of Rick Grenell, a man who has earned this job, in my opinion.
CNN says we're exploding and we're dangerous. That's right. We're almost 9 hours in right now. I'll be here for the next few hours. Then Millie Weaver's coming in with a lot. Of course, I've got Owen Schroyer here with me right now. We've got Anthony Cumia, legendary talk show host, censored more than even Howard Stern for his conservative statements, by the way. That's, cuss words are okay, I guess, on talk radio, but not conservatism. He's going to be joining us, and Roger Stone's got big breaking news. Mike Cernovich dropped huge bombs today. And, I apologize to Mike Cernovich for saying that one of his sources was, he didn't get mad at me, but I was partially wrong, was Donald Trump Jr. I was just saying the media has already said that. He tweets him all the time. We know he's one of the biggest patriots inside. And I know who Cernovich's people are. They're high-level staffers. We have some of the same ones. But for some reason, they return his calls all the time, and I guess he works them better than I do, which is fine. I'm glad Cernovich is there. But it is true that it's not Donald Jr. giving him the big scoops. It's just Donald Jr., I guess, that got him introduced to a bunch of people. But it's making him so mad, and CNN has come out with a big report that's one of the only accurate ones I've ever seen them do. It's quasi-accurate. And this is what I was told by a major New York Times writer, another filmmaker / major Hollywood writer and journalist, and then now some other phone calls. They're being very nice right now. And they're saying, look, stop getting into Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and the $300 missing billion, which the Treasury Secretary came out 2 days ago and said, we were right, broke it 2 months ago, and just leave Muslims alone. I am leaving Muslims alone. I didn't want to start the wars that went and stirred them up. But I don't want the most radical Muslims brought over unvetted from 7 countries where they just, the local imams run the passports, and you drive in a bus with a bunch of chickens on it to a bombed out airport, then they fly here 1 flight a week. What in Hades is that?
I love how they blame you when you were the first one to try to take the heat off of Muslims for 9/11 and put the mirror right at the American government for false flags. Well, no, you're the bad guy.
Exactly, but the media then misrepresented what I said. Criminal elements of our government, like Mr. Brennan, who is an admitted Wahhabist, have sold out to the Saudis. And the Saudis and Prince Bandar and all the rest of them were heavily involved. And then their enemy, when we had 9/11, Iraq got attacked. That was wrong. We blamed Iraq. It was wrong. It's a fraud. That's the history. That's a fact. It's come out in Congress. And I've had Walter Jones on probably 15 times, one of the best members of Congress from North Carolina, who has seen the secret 28 pages. Senator Graham, seen the 28 pages. We've interviewed him once on camera at the, was it RNC or something? And they've all, the Transportation Secretary, Panetta, all of them have come out and said there was a stand down ordered because the Saudis were involved. The government then had a NORAD takeover drill, putting all these inputs onto the screens of NORAD and the FAA where they thought it was a hijacking drill. They ordered the F-16s to fly at intercept at stall-out speed, like 250 miles an hour. I've interviewed all the people involved. I had Colonel Don de Grand Prix, who was a CIA weapons shipper, on, and he had been at the Pentagon and met with the generals. He even gave me the names of the pilots that refused orders. The general higher-up refused orders in the Air Force and ordered 2 AIM-9s Sidewinder missiles into Flight 93. There was no let's roll and stewardesses at 30-something thousand feet on regular cell phones. All that sounds great. It was made up. The Air Force did the right thing because that thing was going right at the Capitol, and they blew it up. But I'm digressing. I want to get Kumi on. You sit there and say, oh, the government. In fact, I would get confronted on CNN. Are you saying the firefighters and the police were part of it? No, they were the heroes. But clearly there were bombs in the buildings. Clearly Deep State was working with the Muslims. And now you see Europe opening its borders to the Muslims, 5 million of them, 80% military-age men. You see them working with it. I remember the FBI was in the news at the time saying, in late 2001, right after the attack, saying, it's like Al-Qaeda has moles in the FBI and CIA. They know what we're going to do before we do it. That's because the top people were working with Saudi Arabia, coordinating. And I saw it on Larry King Live a week or two after 9/11. Prince Bandar, known as Bandar Bush, he's like best friends with the Bush family, jump at any time. He's brought up 9/11, Owen Schroyer. And Bandar Bush was on CNN on Larry King Live. Larry King Live says, oh, the murderer, piece of garbage, coward, Osama bin Laden. He goes, oh, watch yourself. Somebody's got to go find the archives of this and do it. Watch yourself, Larry King. He is a hero in my country. And King goes, oh, I'm sorry. And he goes, yes, now you'll understand. Because they're heroes. They look good over there. Then their enemy, Saudi Arabia, it gets, Saudi Arabia's enemy, Iraq gets hit. You cannot make up the magnitude of this. And so here I am exposing it day one, and they're attacking me saying the government did it, no criminal elements did it, and then they claim that I'm saying radical Islam doesn't exist. No, this whole broadcast is about defense of the West because a Turkish/Islamic Kurd who's on the Federal Reserve Board of New York that runs the whole Federal Reserve and who gets billions from the school lunch program with a monopoly through his yogurt company, who works with the UN and Peter Sutherland and George Soros to bring in the illegals. Or, excuse me, we don't know he was bringing any illegals. Let's bring in unvetted people, I'm not saying he brings any illegals, into the country. And then he says, oh, it's the State Department does it. But he lobbies through the UN and the State Department. The UN certifies it. Just makes it up, says it's good. The State Department then brings them in. And then he's suing me saying, I say that Muslims being brought in are bringing TB. I've had 5 law firms look at it. 2 of them we've engaged. They say it's the biggest joke lawsuit they've ever seen, probably done for a publicity stunt.
Electrify your day with Secret 12. It's like lightning in a bottle. We all have days in which we just can't seem to perform at the level we'd like to. Infowars Life Secret 12 is designed to naturally energize your body and mind with 2 great tasting and super high quality forms of vitamin B12. Proper vitamin and nutrient intake is essential to keep your body functioning at optimum levels. The reality is, it's hard to take in the proper amount of vitamins we need each day with our modern diets. Secret 12 by Infowars Life is an easy way to naturally upgrade your vitamin B12 intake and support your body's natural systems. It pairs 2 forms of vitamin B12 into one explosive formula. Vitamin B12 supports healthy energy levels through red blood cell formation and aiding in the body's natural processes, but it also assists with many other functions of the body. Electrify your mind and body and take your health to the next level. Experience the power of Secret 12 at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
Vitamin Mineral Fusion. Visit InfoWarsLife.com to secure your canister. We have worked for years with our chemists and scientists to create the most powerful and affordable, great-tasting multivitamin formula available. Vitamin Mineral Fusion Drink Mix at InfoWarsLife.com is loaded with a full month's supply of essential vitamins, minerals, and amino acids that your body absolutely needs. In the history of InfoWars Life, we've brought out a lot of amazing products like Survival Shield X2, Super Male Vitality, and so many others. With its unique delivery system and proprietary manufacturing process designed for maximized effects, This formula is the platinum standard of multivitamin mineral products. And this part is most important. The ingredients in Vitamin Mineral Fusion are either plant-derived or of the highest quality lab standard. That means it's clean. That means it's pure. And rest assured, you're finding the tip of the spear in the InfoWar. That's InfoWarsLife.com and Vitamin Mineral Fusion. Take action now before we sell out. We have the new product at InfoWarsLife.com, BioTrue Selenium.
We've had so many requests over the years for selenium, and just recently, we were able to source a certified organic, bioavailable selenium from mustard seed extract. When you take selenium in the body, it actually benefits the detoxification systems in your body. It helps balance the thyroid gland. It helps detoxify.
Selenium is another one of those absolute must-haves.
The highest concentration of selenium is in the thyroid gland, but it's actually used all over the body. As a matter of fact, there's 25 genes in the body that are directly dependent upon selenium. So it really is a all-around nutrient that everybody really needs.
I'm taking it now every day. This is so key. BioTrue Selenium is the product, the best selenium that we could bring you. We believe it's the best out there at a very, very low price. Exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. We're selling a product, DNA Force, that is the very best nutraceutical that we can produce. Dr. Group, you took years for you to develop DNA Force for us.
It's been something that I've been working on for a long time, Alex, because I think it's very, very important. What the aging process is when the cell replicates, we lose a little bit of our telomeres. Telomeres are the little cups on the end of our chromosomes.
And when it runs out, you start dying.
We chose the PQQ because it has over 175 different clinical trials. It's one of the most effective substances in the world. It works like an antioxidant. It works to repair nerve growth factor.
So this is a formula to deliver the maximum amount. It's in powder form.
We have so many 5-star reviews. I take this. This is the product that I take.
InfoWarsLife.com, and the profit we make. We fight the globals. We fight the New World Order. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
There's another way of thinking than this liberal, progressive crap that we see on a daily basis.
Let's go ahead and go to Anthony Cumia. I apologize. We got him on about 10 minutes late, and he's here. And we got about 20 minutes, and Roger Stone's joining us. Tell us about your network, how folks listen, and the fact that you had #1 show in the country, syndicated in the cities you were in, kicked off the year. Not because of cussing, but because big corporations didn't like it and control the FCC. Then kicked off XM because you call people killing cops animals, and they are animals. So the fact is you've been successful over and over again, and now you've been relegated to the internet, which is great. Not XM, But Anthony Cumia, you know, when you're on my show during the day, you're on a bunch of stations. The point is that it's not that we're losers, we're getting relegated. We're being relegated because they can't compete. So explain to people what it's like in this country, trying to get the word out, and then what you think of InfoWars and the call to action, my friend. Sorry, I'm ranting.
Oh, my God. No, please, Alex. First of all, boy, are they coming after you. I've seen this. It's happening all over with people that are making a difference and getting to the people and actually giving them something that they can latch on and say, yes, I want to fight. I want to listen to this guy. I want to hear an opposing viewpoint from the mainstream media. And you have been on the forefront of this for so long. And man, they are coming after you. If anybody thinks this is a coincidence, that all of a sudden a bunch of people that are stirring other people up, that are getting them to think, that are getting them to see that there's another way of thinking than this liberal, progressive crap that we see on a daily basis, they are taking us out of the mix. They're trying to quiet us because we're dangerous to them. We are totally against their plan of keeping everybody under wraps, under their feet, their boots on our necks. And you are a prime example right now of them trying to discredit you. It's been that way for so long. Me, I've been thrown off of every single type of mainstream media there is. I've had to literally start my network.
Even though you always get top ratings and are always #1, it's because you are effective. Your voice and your information carries gravitas. That's why you're shut down.
That's what it is. They don't want us to have too much juice, too much power. And the second you start really influencing people, if you're making jokes, maybe it's one
thing. No, the second you start acting like a man trying to have a country for your children, then you're off the air.
Oh, absolutely. That's a thing of the past. I'm disgusted. I watched some amazing documentaries on World War I and II and Korea, Vietnam, and you just see men acting like men. And that now is a bad word. You're not allowed to be a man in this country anymore.
Colleges are saying don't have paintings or murals of muscular men on the sports team. It's hurtful to those that aren't muscular.
Is every story now worthy of The Onion? I used to read The Onion, a great parody site, and think, oh, that's hilarious because it's so ridiculous. Now mainstream media is absolutely outdoing The Onion for the most ridiculous things you'll ever read.
Kevin, let me ask you this. I mean, because you don't want to get into it, and we don't like to bitch about what's happening to us. But, I mean, talk about the persecution you've gone through, getting kicked off your hit show that was on for a decade, you know, had in many cases more viewers and listeners than Stern, and then you get kicked off because you stand up against Black Lives Matter going around killing cops.
Yeah, all you have to say is exactly what leaders in the black community have said for years and years and years. There's a problem with violence. There's a problem with out-of-wedlock children, and you just bring that up. But I'm not the right person to bring that up. So when I did, I was called, racist, and you're relegated to trying to fight against what labels people are giving you. No more. You don't even get to argue that point anymore. You're now arguing that, oh, no, I'm not a racist. I'm not the... And they take you out of the mix for what you originally were trying to discuss.
And I should add, compoundmedia.com. You're so polite, don't even plug it, compoundmedia.com. By the way, part of this is a survival mechanism. They're huge. They're great. I want people to be bigger than we are. And in some cases, a lot of folks are. Some of their shows have more views and stuff than we do. That is a really good feeling because I don't like being the only target here. It seems like that's kind of what's happening. But they kind of pick somebody. But let's shift gears and jump in any time. I know you hosted the last 2 hours, but Owen, jump in. I didn't just have you in there just to sit there. I know you're an awesome reporter, so please jump in. But talking about this, take Stephen Colbert. He attacked me that I know of 9 times the last 2 weeks. Lied about me, but it's comedy, so it's okay. Said I was a racist. Said I didn't know what my kids' names were. Said I didn't know what 2 teachers were out of like 16 teachers. After I had lunch when I'm sitting there on the stand or whatever. And I'm like, literally, I had a bunch of chili. I can't remember every teacher. Sorry. Nobody can, okay? But the point is, I'm too busy actually working to be able to... I go to all the conferences. The kids get straight A's. Isn't that enough? They're good kids, but... Here he comes, and he says this statement, we'll play it in a few minutes, which he says that basically he's a holster for Vladimir Putin's Vienna sausage. And this is somewhat of a family show, but big deal. That's what was said, saying that he's a minion of Russia and he's bad. He's totally pushing Russia around. He's pushing China around. He's pushing North Korea around. This is pure bull. It was U.S. intelligence leaked the stuff, like Hillary saying it's the Russians. And so WikiLeaks and all this is happening. But then they're saying, oh, it's homophobic. They're now even, Anthony, eating their own when clearly it's not homophobic. It's saying he's a butt kisser of Putin, which he isn't. It does. If you call somebody a you-know-what sucker, like I called Congressman Schiff, I said he's a globalist, you-know-what sucker, just like when, De Niro says it in a movie about somebody. It means that they're groveling. It means they're servicing somebody. It isn't attacking gay people. We could do that if we wanted to. It's free speech. But even Colbert, they're saying, may lose his job over this. This is dangerous.
Alex, what you're actually saying here is that the left knows what context is. Oh, my God. They have no clue about context, comedy, sarcasm. Everything that's said by anybody is taken at face value and should be dissected like that, and the discipline should be doled out accordingly. It's amazing, and I do love watching them eat their own. I am a First Amendment advocate like no one has seen, and I don't want anybody fired for anything they say. But if you're delusional enough to think that a network... Oh,
he celebrated when Bill O'Reilly went. And again, he's not perfect.
Yes,
the point is,
yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
They would never think... If you think a network talk show host could get away with saying anything like that about Obama without a public execution, you're out of your mind. That's the problem I have. I don't have a problem with Colbert saying whatever he wants about anybody. I have a problem with the double standard that people like myself and my friends and associates are crucified for making a joke about a minority group or what have you. And then when it comes around to someone like Colbert, he gets free reign.
Well, exactly. I'm from Texas, and I like to make fun of rednecks, and I'm not bashing, but I mean, I've got some family. They're nice people, but they're literally like the Beverly Hillbillies. I may sound like some other people, but, you know, I'm kind of like Beverly Hillbilly light, and it's kind of fun, but then I want to make fun of Asian people. My sister's Asian adopted. I love Asians. It's funny, though. You know, the North Korean stuff's sad, but it's funny. You know, Kim Jong-un, and people say, oh, you're being anti-Asian. No, it's funny stuff. It's funny. I mean, look at Japanese. They make fun of themselves.
Sure, absolutely. What that used to be something that was taken in context of comedy. You could absolutely do stereotypical.
Remember Belushi doing the samurai?
Absolutely. No one thought that was.
Sorry.
Can't do that anymore. That'd be too offensive.
No one thought it was hateful or that you were inciting violence against these people. They're insane. The left is mentally ill when it comes to things like this.
You know, and you talk about Stephen Colbert's show. I remember I watched Stephen Colbert like 6, 7, 8 years ago, and he would actually make fun of Obama regularly, but he would do it in a tasteful manner. He did it where it was creative. It was funny. It was what you would expect with any president. Of course, make fun of Trump. Of course, he's the president. Of course, he's going to get made fun of. But make it tasteful. Don't make some, you know, crude penis joke that's not funny. That's the key. It's not funny. When did Stephen Colbert quit being funny? It's when all the people, I don't even know if it's the left.
When did he become Tuck Buckford?
Tuck Buckford?
Let me put this yogurt in my hair.
If they would just stick to comedy, if they would try to be funny instead of trying to make a political message every night, then Stephen Colbert.
This is what happens when you take steroids and peyote. This is what happens.
Stephen Colbert has won. I'm pretty sure that he's won multiple Grammys. I think that his writers have run Grammys because he had a funny show when he was on Comedy Central, and then he got too political. He wanted to make a. There's Tuck Buckford.
Let me ask this question of Anthony Cumia, CompoundMedia.com. Look, I don't like to sit up here and beg the audience to support us. But here's the deal. Yeah, we'll play Belushi in a minute with audio. But you could never do that today. In fact, I think I'm going to go back and recreate some skits and then watch the media attack me because we've got to exercise, kind of like open carry. Alex Jones here with a very important news update to anybody out there that wants to be prepared. But it goes beyond being prepared. Our bodies absolutely must have the good halogen iodine or we will die. And you look at all of the thyroid problems and all the people that don't have energy and that have all sorts of hormone problems. And from my research, and a lot of just mainline research, it leads back to iodine over and over and over again. It's as important as vitamin C. If you don't get iodine, you die. But most people are just deficient, so they're low energy, they're sick. You got to have iodine in your body so that your body can produce the hormones you need. It is the base to so many things. And since I got into iodine 4 years ago, we've helped change the entire paradigm by developing and bringing to the public deep earth crystals from 7,000 to 12,000 feet of the purest iodine available. Other iodine comes from the ocean or from other byproducts of chemical facilities, and it's tainted. It's bound. It's not absorbable. I tried it. And I had incredible effects even with dirty iodine because the body needs it. When you don't have iodine, it absorbs the chlorine, the fluoride, and all these other bad halogens. Do yourself and your family a favor and check out the importance of iodine for yourself. I think you're going to be blown away. And whatever you do, support the broadcast and get a bottle of Survival Shield Nascent Iodine X2. Also consult your physician because if you've been deficient in it or have other issues, it can have some dramatic effects. As for me and most folks I talk to, it's been a game changer in the positive column, but still consult your physician because iodine is no joke. It's a key building block of the body. And if you haven't had it for a long time and suddenly have it, some folks say they've experienced things like a detoxing effect and things like that. You've got to have vitamin C. You've got to have iodine to live. You got to have water to live. Iodine is key. You must have it, but consult your physician first before you get powerful Survival Shield Nascent Iodine X2 at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll free. We can answer your questions. 888-253-3139.
Let's bring on Baked Alaska. And I've got a couple things that I want to talk to you about. And I'll tell you what, I can't decide, so I'm going to let you decide where we get started. We can either go right into meme story time, or we can talk about the breaking news that you've been on top of with BuzzFeed Ben and Macy on BuzzFeed. Where do you want to start?
Well, wow. Thanks for having me on, Owen. This is amazing. Yeah, there's so much to talk about. I mean, I say let's start out. Let's have some fun. Let's get into the memes.
Okay, now do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first? Because I've got quite a presentation ready to go here.
I think you should kick it off. So I sent you the photos. I hope you have them there.
Do you guys have his photos ready to go? Yes? Okay, so let's start with mine. All right. Okay. This is Welcome to Meme Storytime, brought to you by Owen Schroyer on the 30-hour Defense of Liberty Infowars special broadcast. This story starts off in a time where the United States had weak leadership. It was so weak, in fact, that many of the world leaders didn't even know the name of our very own president. It was so weak, in fact, that something compelled Donald Trump to run for office. Nobody understood the high energy. Nobody knows where he got it. This man, all of a sudden, high energy Donald Trump decides to run for office. Now the mainstream media had to do something. They had to beat him up all day long. They didn't know what to do with this man and his high energy. So the media had to pummel him all day long, and he took their beatings, all while going about his day and fighting for the American people. The fake news was all over it. They had their henchmen making up stories, like Brian Williams. You remember Pussygate? Yes, that video. It was all over the news. While some of the other candidates, well, they weren't even sure what was going on. Yes, as you can see there, some of the other candidates, really, they were just confused at the whole thing. But the Democrats decided they were going to continue to try to hoist upon the American people Hillary Clinton, a dead candidate. Here you can see at the final presidential debate, it could only have been Trump. There was no other option. Well, the election night came around, and as you can see, President Trump and Vice President Mike Pence had to take the whining and crying Hillary Clinton off of the flight of American prosperity. Well, the liberals in Hollywood had to shout at the top of a mountain how it was sexism that brought Hillary down. But their biggest story was actually Russia. That's right. All over the news, they were bringing on all kinds of pundits to tell us about Trump's Russian ties. It didn't matter what the story was. They were going to blame the Democrats. No matter the story, no matter the time, no matter whose fault. They continued to do this no matter what, even though it was just like beating a dead horse. Well, now Obama had to spy on Donald Trump because of the alleged Russian hacking. So President Obama and his staff were spying on the president. This had Kyrgyzstan going crazy. Kyrgyzstan could not stand it. They were all fired up, and they were holding meetings to try to make America great again. This sent the protesters out to the streets. As you can see, many of the protesters, well, some of their memes don't want to load on us right now. There we go. The protesters took to the streets. They took to the streets in full force, in fact. And they got violent. That's all right. This is meme story time, folks. They got violent. They were stealing signs. They only liked signs that agreed with their agenda. If you held up a different sign, they would take it down. They got violent. They were burning things, burning buildings. And, of course, there it is again. You can see the Democrats here beating the dead horse that was the Russian narrative. So then, all of a sudden, all of the attention was changed as President Trump dropped the mother of all bombs in Afghanistan, changing the focus of attention. It was then that John McCain and Lindsey Graham finally thought that they were going to get the war that they have always desired. But then out of nowhere, it was a Pepsi given to Kim Jong-un that brought the people back to reality. And now, once again in America, as you can see, transgender wins international women's weightlifting title. That's right, folks. Once again in America, men can compete with women. And that is meme story time. That was pretty good, guys. We had a couple of hitch-ups, but I would say for the first meme story time, not bad. Well done to the crew. All right.
All night. Wow. I mean, I feel bad because I didn't prepare as much as you did.
I didn't want to put you on the spot. It was not meant to be that way.
You kind of put me on the spot. This was like, Oscar-worthy meme story time here, and I have like a PowerPoint slideshow for you. But, I'll give it my best shot.
We'll give you a handicap.
It's meme magic, baby.
Totally.
Right.
I mean, I just got to point out, the fact that we are on the media talking about memes, and yes, they're funny, but to say that memes didn't have a huge impact on the 2016 election, you can't argue that fact. And that's the great thing about memes. They're fun, but they're also effective, and we get to use them in fun, creative ways. And it doesn't cost anything to make a meme.
No.
You can do it for free, ladies and gentlemen.
And like you said, it's fun, it's creative, and it brings people together.
Oh, totally. You share your rare Pepes. You get to talk about how milk is racist with your friends.
Hold on. Wait. There we go. All right.
What's
Had to
up?
get that in. All right, you ready to go to your memes? You guys got his memes ready to go?
Yeah, so I'm not sure which ones they have, so I'm just going to go in the order I see them. So the first meme I have, that this is like my top 10 that I like right now. So the first one is, it's the lady at Trump's inauguration just screaming, "No!"
Oh.
Have you seen that one?
Is that the girl that's gone totally viral who literally is losing her mind?
Yeah. This lady's mind is literally melting while Trump is getting inaugurated. Just no! Like, she just cannot believe that she's living on this timeline. That to me is a representation of the entire left, that they still cannot accept reality and they act like little children. When I didn't vote for Obama, I didn't really like Obama. But I was not screaming like that. I was not screaming like a child on my knees. Like, that's sad. So I like to laugh at that one.
Wait a second. You're telling me that when you don't get your way, you go, "No!"
I probably should start doing that. I should start doing that. That's what you do, right? That's what you do.
That's how I got my job here.
I guess, if you whine very loudly, sometimes you get what you want. So maybe I should start screaming like that. Maybe I'd get more things,
But the truth is that you just said it exactly, though. It's the epitome of the left. Petulant children who can't accept reality, who whine when they don't get things their way. See, I'm the type of guy where if I fail at something or I don't accomplish a goal, I look back and I say, what did I do wrong? What can I do better? How can I improve myself? How can I win next time? That's not what they do. They just whine and complain more because that's how they think they win, I guess. That's the culture that they were raised in.
You want to fight? You're getting it. You're getting it. I am very proud to announce the introduction of the highest quality Infowars Biome Defense Probiotic. We wanted to come out with the largest spectrum of high quality known probiotics that have been proven to improve overall digestion and health and detoxification in the body. Biome Defense is an exclusive blend of 50 billion live and active cultures from over 23 different probiotic strains that are known to support digestion and intestinal function. Our researchers are confident that we have been able to develop what will be the leading probiotic on the market. Secure your Biome Defense in ultra strength or regular strength at InfoWarsLife.com today and get started supporting your digestive system naturally. We've been testing this formula for years, but this is the limited first run to the public, so please take advantage of it today. Support your own health and support the InfoWar.